1, 2, 3, 4. Almost a weekend and you don't know what to do. Or you just need something fun to listen to.
Southside Pod.
Yes, we're on the air.
Pod.
And with gangs all here, all things on the South Side. Thanks for tuning in to the Southside Pod.
You wanted to talk a little bit more Southside stuff. I had an experience on the Southside recently that I used Facebook for the first time to yell about something, I think, in about a year and a half.
Okay.
I stay off it, right?
I've
explained
saw
this.
that one.
I've explained this. I actually, my way of using social media now is to not use it. So if we're Facebook friends, great.
Confused.
I unfollow all of my friends on Facebook.
Yeah.
I've unfollowed my mother. I only use it for the business.
I followed her.
And I try not to. You did? You did?
Yeah, but that was with your
Nice
car.
lady.
It's
Yeah.
really-
Wonderful lady.
I got to keep up with, because you unfollowed her.
Wonderful lady. Anyway, I got aggravated and I finally made like a post for the first time in a while.
Was
'Cause
angry.
I went out to a Chicago brewery, and while I'm at the brewery, their beer was like, I think 8 was the lowest, maybe 9. They had
Dollars?
some $9
Okay.
for a pint. And then they had like some barrel aged thing that was like 15. They also had on the menu that you get an automatic 20% gratuity on everything. So that $15
Like a party's
beer.
of 6 or more?
No, just you.
No.
If I order
Wow.
one beer, according to their
It
menu,
has to be 20%.
it'll be 20% on
They
that
serve
beer.
in a
That's
dirty
terrible.
glass.
Right. They could come out and spill the beer
Serve
in my
it in a
lap.
boot.
Right. And that $15 beer is now an $18 beer. Okay. That $10 beer is now a $12
Automatically.
beer. And then there's tax.
Which is another
Okay.
10%.
So, I mean, like, think about what you're spending for
Thanks,
a beer.
Obama.
And, you know,
Why, though? Why the automatic tip?
that I don't get. I get.
Some people just gloss over
I
it.
don't even get the large party one. Just assume people are a decent human being, and if they're not, chalk it up to they're crappy people in the world.
Here's the thing. I get that Chicago businesses as a whole, especially restaurants, bars, breweries, are getting beat up right now. Chicago basically said, remember when you used to be able to pay a waitress X amount of dollars and then she got tips on top of it? You have to give her the same as everybody gets paid. So they've changed that. There's more
went up
taxes in the
again,
city.
too, yeah.
There's more taxes in the city. There's more
More
things that they deal with
red
that
tape
other
to get
people
open.
don't, and it's not very good for the service
Don't open
profession.
a restaurant then.
You shouldn't, but some of them are still stuck there. So the thing is, to combat it, they're doing anything they possibly can. Prices are higher there and everything else like that. And the point that I was making is, I don't blame the brewers. And it was interesting, in that post, 4 different breweries on the South Side, their brewer either liked the post or commented on the post, had a discussion on the post. It was very active with people who are in that profession, restaurants, whatever. I don't blame them for having to do it. But what's funny is I went to Blue Island after I walked out of that place and said, I'm not spending $18 on a beer. And it's crazy. And I went to Blue Island to our friends over at Blue Island Beer Company, and I bought a $5 beer, and then they have the Ocho over there, which is just like a barrel aged beer. It's like 14%, and it's going for $8. That's their highest one.
And if you're going to charge 20% automatically, just make the $10 beer $12. It's going to make people feel better, and they still might tip afterwards.
Well, and here's the thing about
You're
tipping.
going to get more money.
Here's the thing about tipping. Anybody that's ever owned a restaurant for a long time, I'm not talking about the people that are new at it, but the people that have been around for a long time. I came from a family of restaurateurs. Okay, my grandfather grew up in a restaurant, and he would always say 20% is a great tip.
Yep.
All right. His rule was you only tip that on the food.
Now it's the middle
He would
one
say,
of the
he-
three
yeah,
choices,
he would
by the
say,
way.
He would say that's the best tip is 20%.
Yep.
You would only tip it on the food. Drinks would be less because they're like 10% or
It's
whatever
way less
it is.
work.
Because it's less work to pour a drink.
Yeah.
And you don't tip on tax.
I
So
always- I
you
always
take the
tip on
subtotal of the
tax.
bill, not the total of the bill.
I always do. I don't know why,
Okay.
because I just do.
It drives me crazy when they have the suggested tip
Well, the
and it's on the
suggested
total
stuff
thing.
includes the tax
Oh,
and
that
includes
drives me
all that
crazy.
extra stuff, and you go, well, that's crap. Now, here's the thing. If a waitress is bringing it to me, I do 20% across the board, even on the drinks. My grandfather used to call me a sucker when he would see me do that. He'd be like, you're over tipping them. That's what he would say.
Yeah.
Okay? The guy who grew up in a restaurant would say that's crazy. Okay?
Why is that broad doing better than me?
But if I'm up at a bar and you think I'm giving you more than $1 a
Yeah,
drink as
no
a tip,
way.
you're crazy. For pouring a beer into a glass, you're out of your mind.
Opening one.
Right. Hey, can I get a beer? Cha-chink. I would like $3 for each one of those chinks. Are you kidding me? Like, I mean, like some of it has gotten really crazy, and I think the touchscreen things have made it worse. Like there are places not even in the city. There's a place that's out in Tinley, and there's lots of breweries there, lots of restaurants there. So there's no way. I mean, if you've been to this place, you know what I'm talking about. They don't take cash. They make you use a touchscreen. The touchscreen never shows you the breakdown of all the items. It just shows you a total with the tax already included, and then suggests a tip off of that. You don't know if they charge you for the right amount of beers. You don't, and then they're trying to get a tax off of all the extra stuff, and they're trying to run up the whole tip thing. They're trying to get the tip off the tax, and they're running the whole thing up. And I've been there before, and I've gone, I need an itemized bill.
Yeah,
and they looked at me like I'm a jerk, and I'm like, I want an itemized bill.
I would be the a-hole asking for that too.
I ask for the itemized bill every time. You can't just walk up and say your total's $54, and you're like, for what? Just trust me. Trust me, it's $54. It's right here on this iPad. Right. The iPad says $54. It also
computers
says,
don't lie.
It also says that if you tip 20%, that's the lowest suggested one. You should be tipping
your total
35.
will be $80.
35%.
Right. The service you've received.
It's crazy right now, but I do think it's interesting now that I've stopped. I mean, I do go to certain places in the city that have kept their prices down, right? Like I am a big fan of Cork and Carry. They're big supporters of Sox in the Basement. And when I go in there and eat, and I was just down in Bridgeport, they at their location by the ballpark, they're not through the roof. They're not doing anything crazy there. And like I'm like, I find it interesting. They're finding a way to get it done, but other places are
How do we
not.
do it? Volume.
Right. I think that's what it is. How do we do it? Volume. Maybe that's what it is. But it's crazy to me. Like I think that I find myself more in the south suburbs now than in the city. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry to the businesses that are in the city. I'm sorry. I wish you the absolute best. Okay. I don't want to give up on you. But like you know, I didn't get a raise. All of us are hurting, right? And I remember in COVID, we were all buying all that stuff to keep you afloat.
We were tipping like crazy during COVID.
But I gotta, yeah.
30%.
And you know what it brought us? It brought us now the idea that if I go pick up the pizza, they still think I should give them a tip.
That's tough. I don't do that anymore.
I don't tip the guy who gives me it. Do I tip the guy at McDonald's for getting me the filet of fish? No.
Wait, you get a filet of fish?
Oh, I love filet of fish.
Oh, you're disgusting.
I have never eaten one of those.
I've never eaten one.
If I'm not tipping on my filet of fish, I'm not tipping for your pizza. If I pick up the order, I had a guy one time who worked in.
Can I get a filet of fish? They're like,
I had a guy in a Latin.
Have that?
An owner of a Latin restaurant once told me when I made this argument about pickup. I said, "Why would I tip you 20% to pick up the bag myself?" He's like, well, we had to put it in the bag. And I could not stop laughing.
I would have laughed too.
I said, at the Wendy's, they have to put the fries in the cardboard box too, but there's not a tip option. Are you kidding me?
There should be.
No, there shouldn't be. You know, it's just like at the ball game now. I go to a ball game, right? Now, if the beer vendor walked through the aisle and he brought it to my seat.
Right, he's yelling.
And he's yelling, hey, beer up, right? And it like back then, it's probably $7 beer. Now it's like 42.
Right.
But I mean, like, at the ballpark, it's like $7.
You're like, yeah. Because you want to pass it down 14 people,
You pass the money down and you go, keep it,
right?
That's what you do. Keep it. If I went up and got a hot dog from the girl who makes the hot dogs.
Or the beer. And you got the same $7 beer. You made the trek up the stairs.
I'm not giving all that. No.
Right.
And now when I go up there, my kid went up to get a lemonade the other day. A 16-year-old went to buy a lemonade at the ballpark.
Did he tip on a lemonade?
And they flipped around one of those stupid screens with a suggested 25% tip on a lemonade.
He didn't know what to do.
No, he looked at me and I said, don't you dare hit that button.
There should be a negative
You
button.
hit that no tip button right there, I told him. I said it really loud too. And the girl looked at me. I'm like, you think you get a tip for filling up you get 25% for filling up a lemonade?
See,
show me the lemons you squeezed and I will tip you, ma'am. Show me them.
I tip my beer guy when I go to the game because he's pouring my beer as I'm walking up the ramp.
You tip the beer guy because the beer guy comes over and sits down and goes, hey guys, how you guys doing? You good? I'm going to bring back more. And then he doesn't forget you.
No.
He comes back the next inning.
With the hands.
These guys used to remember the crowds that tipped well and make sure they got more beer quicker. Then because you tipped him, he showed up in the 7th inning and he's like, last call, guys. You want two each? Two each? Total of 20? Total of 20. I got you guys a case. And the guy's opening the case up and he just puts the case in between you and walks away.
I remember as a kid, my dad went and we were just me and him and at the Sox game. It was Old Comiskey. I was young.
Drove home.
And I think I did.
We drove home.
The guy says, "You want a beer?" And my dad says, "Yeah." And he goes, "How many you want?" And he goes, "How many you got?" And he goes, "I got a whole tray." And he goes, "I'll take them." And he just starts passing them down the aisle. And everyone's like, "Yeah, yeah." And my dad stood up on the seat and yelled, "I'm running for mayor." And the whole crowd just like leapt up and cheered, you know?
My dad tells stories.
It was like $140 a case.
My dad tells stories that when him and his
like
buddies used to
5
go to the
beers now.
ballpark when they went to Comiskey Park, they would sit out in the outfield and the team was terrible, and the beer vendor would come over and his buddy would just take out and goes, "I'm buying your case and I'm buying your time to sit here and keep it cool."
Like
and
a stripper at this
the guy
point.
sat down
That's
in
awesome.
their section on the steps
That's
and
awesome.
watched the game with them.
Yeah, right.
And would just dish them out when they were ready to drink another one. Okay, that guy gets tipped.
Where is that America? I want that America back.
I don't know. Now I'm paying you.
You
to
can
use
only
my-
buy 2 beers at a
now I'm
time.
paying your credit card fee that
Can't give
actually
my
gets
kid a
you
beer at the game?
Like now I'm paying for the fee because I'm using my credit card. That didn't happen until COVID. That's garbage. The rule used to be if you charged me the fee,
Right, if you
they took your
use
credit card machine
credit
away
cards.
from you in the business. The
Yeah.
Discover card would walk in and pull it out of the wall and say
Yep.
you can't use Discover card anymore.
Well,
Now they're
it-
charging me the fees.
It annoys me when they charge you the fee, but they don't let you pay cash. That drives me crazy.
Well, that's the thing. If you're
There's
not going to let me
some places
pay,
that
if
do
you're not
that.
gonna let me
That's
pay cash-
illegal, by the way.
Yeah, that's illegal. That's illegal. I've said that before, and I've refused to pay. I've said there, well, I'm not paying that fee.
Legal tender.
Where is that written down? Where is it written down? And
But
why?
they, as a private business, they have the right to refuse service, too.
well, you could. Well, it's too late. I already drank the beer.
Yep.
And you run out.
Later.
USA.
By the way, you weren't even running. You were just doing that at the counter.
He thought he was running, though.
Sir, you still have to pay. Oh, I'm sorry. Here's my credit card.
This weekend, it's the north side of the south side, Brookfield. I'm going to count them because I like Imperial Oak Brewing. There's 2 locations. Their northern location in Brookfield is having Beats and Brews 2024, and it's happening Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Sunday is going to be big because that's when my good friend John Streets puts on his big old artisan market out there. There are so many different vendors, all kinds of interesting things for you to choose from as you drink and enjoy the food. That kicks off at noon, goes until 4. Everything from candy I'm seeing there, steel art creations, vegan creations. They got some woodworking, so many things out there on Sunday and all weekend long. We're talking bands. 5 p.m. on Friday, the neighborhood's out there. Good band. There's bands into the evening on Friday, all day on Saturday, all day on Sunday. Get out and enjoy Imperial Oak Brewing's Beats and Brews all weekend long, especially that artisan market on Sunday. Once again, in Brookfield at 4099 Blanchard Avenue. And then next weekend after that, mark your calendars, Saturday, July 27th, the Summerween Market in Tinley Park out at Sound Growler Brewing. I was at this last year. Mark it down. It's Halloween in the summer on Saturday the 27th. I'm going to be at both of these events. I will see you out there. Did you see this thing where this guy lost over $2 million in baseball cards?
I thought they got stolen.
Yeah, well, they got stolen, but
Yeah.
who takes $2 million of anything and lays it on a table
A
in a
table
crowd?
where?
In
I
a
don't know
crowd.
the whole story.
He goes to a baseball card show
And walks away from his $2 million
and
of
he
cards.
puts his stuff out on the table and somebody comes up and grabs just the really expensive section. So he probably had more than $2 million there.
That's the stuff you put in the case.
And then the guy runs, it was probably all in a case and he just grabbed the case.
I mean,
Right, you made it
get
easier
A
for the
table
criminal.
size case.
Right.
Jesus.
I put it inside of something with a handle that you could
Right.
shut and quickly run with. I mean, like here, I'm looking at let's see if I can find it here because I was looking at this earlier. I knew it was on my computer. The guy gets distracted, and
Some shiny one over
another
the
guy
trench.
walks up behind and grabs up the case of cards and runs out the door with them. And if you look,
$2 million?
if you look at the video
That's some
picture,
serious
more than a
cards.
Ken Griffey
we're
rookie
talking. Oh,
here.
he's got Mickey Mantle's rookie and all this other stuff like that. They were showing.
Was
He's
it
got-
OJ?
He basically has it like in one of these fold down things. The guy just folds it, puts it under his arm, and just starts walking.
ya.
And he's got like all these things. Would you ever go and lay out $2 million in cash anywhere? Why would you? That's crazy to
I mean,
me.
he bought the table. I get it. He was a vendor, right?
You don't put that much product out in front. Like
I was unaware
those
that
high dollar cards, you don't let like the peons see those. You people have to pre-qualify.
I was unaware. I'm sorry. I was unaware that there were places where people laid out $2 million of stuff on top of a table. Because if I was aware of it, I'd be there.
Yeah.
Did you?
Okay, I'd be there.
Was this you?
I'd be walking
steal
up just scooping stuff. Like,
Scooping.
just scooping.
Is that a Maserati I saw in your driveway?
I mean, security's got to be as good as it is in the movie Casino, right? Remember that scene in Casino?
Right.
Like 3 times somebody tried to rob a casino and they never make it out the door and they just get their asses kicked. Like, I mean, like, they need that kind of security inside of one of these baseball card shows if that's what's sitting on the table.
We were at a bachelor party once, and I was in college, and we were driving across like the state of Iowa, and we see a sign at like an Elks Club or something that said Casino Night.
Oh, sweet.
We're like, Casino Night, let's go. We walk in there, it was all these old ladies like doing like, had all the chips and stuff like that. And we bought chips, and you bought chips and you can cash out. This lady, we were playing blackjack, and it was just us at the table. Had a full set of chips in front of her with all the different denominations. And she goes, can you boys, we were hammered, by the way. Can you boys watch the chips? I need to use the ladies' room. And she walked away. We're just sitting there at this table. No one's around. And
you're
can just take all this stuff.
I mean, that's crazy.
And walk away.
Right.
And we're like, oh, God, it was just such a gut check. We didn't do this, of course.
No,
I've
never
trust
gone,
of these little small towns.
I don't go steal cards. It's a joke. I mean, but I've also had a next door neighbor who was hustled one time because they kept him busy at the front door and snuck in the back.
I remember that.
And that's what this is. I mean, I'm reading about it, and that's what happened. A group comes in, they start acting like they're doing business. They distract the guy. The other guy comes up from behind and grabs everything. It's a pretty simple
Sucks for
scam.
him. Watch your stuff better.
Yeah, I mean, could you imagine being the only guy at your table and you lay out that much money?
Like, that guy's an idiot for, you don't.
That's
don't
crazy.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. $70,000 reward if you
what this
return the
sounds like?
$2.1 million.
You know what this actually sounds like?
What?
An insurance scam.
That's what it sounds like.
I had $2 million worth of cards.
You want to know why?
In my glove compartment.
Because
when the car
nobody's
burned.
buying $2 million in baseball cards in this day and age.
Correct.
That's not happening anymore. That's
The guy got jammed up buying Dave Maggot and rookie cards. And
you're thinking he's got way too many Todd Van Poppels and he can't figure out how to get rid of them.
2 million Todd Van Poppels. That was his table.
Each worth $1.
All of them. Everyone tops ever produced.
2 million Todd Van Poppels. We're taking.
There were probably 50 million Todd Van Poppels.
If you collected
printed
baseball
that year.
cards at the time we collected baseball cards, that's hysterical to you. Nobody else gets it. 2 million Todd Van Poppels. It was the summer of Todd Van Poppel.
He was going to be the next big thing.
He was going to be the next great pitcher. It was the summer of Todd Van Poppel. Kids were fighting over his card. I was collecting them, then I was selling them for twice the money. Yeah. They were currency in the streets on the south side.
You thought
Todd
that you
Van
were going to
Poppel.
like pay for your college.
Oh,
with these
with
cards.
Todd Van Poppel. Todd Van Poppel was paying for everything. I was getting a bike. I was getting a car. I was getting a lady at the age of 10.
Nope.
Heir to the Van Poppel fortune.
This portion of Southside Pod brought to you by Tom Walsh, your Edward Jones financial advisor. He's local, experienced, down to earth, and a friend of this show. He actually helps me with my money, and he takes care of bills as well. Get to know you approach and a do the right thing attitude. That's what you're going to get from Tom. In times of financial uncertainty, how can you stay on track? You give him a call, 773-779-0023. Call somebody who is invested in your success and has been doing this for over 2 decades. Doesn't matter where you're at in life. Just starting out, getting to the end, somewhere in the middle. Stop in and see him on the corner of 111th and Kedzie. Tom Walsh, your Edward Jones financial advisor, and Edward Jones, making sense of investing, member SIPC. We're at Porter Cullen's on the south side of Chicago in Evergreen Park, and we're at, what are we at, 99th and Clifton Park. I can see it right here from the patio.
Absolutely.
What an amazing patio. Kirtan Gandhi is here with me. He's the owner. And tell me a little bit, first of all, about what it's like summers out here on this patio.
It's really nice. I call it a vibe. It's a really nice vibe, especially in the evenings. We get a little bit of twilight. I have a lot of lighting out here in the plants. We have it in the umbrellas as well. A little bit of music playing, have a good cocktail, have something to eat. And it's really, really a laid-back environment.
You took over this place about a year ago.
Yes.
And you've made a lot of changes inside, but I remember as the patio started to change, as I'm driving by it on a daily basis, there was a lot of thought put into this. So what what did you think of? What goes into building a good outdoor patio in Chicagoland?
So, I mean, from my perspective, it's a couple of different things, right? So you don't want to be overly crowded. You want to make sure that there's nice greenery around you, can kind of shield you from the cars and things like that going by. Obviously, having shade, especially in the summertime in Chicago, the sun comes directly overhead here in the summertime. So wanting to make sure we can do that. But honestly, in the evenings, you just want it to be like a nice, quiet place with a very chill vibe. And I think that, at least that's what I enjoy in summertime in Chicago as well. So we tried to emulate that, and we're trying to actually put even more chairs out here just for that purpose, so that we have more folks that can enjoy it.
One of the things that I compare this to, especially because of location, Porter Cullen's, again, it's on 99th and Clifton Park, right off of Central Park. If you're not exactly familiar with the area, you're not an Evergreen Parker, and you're looking at this, that is in between Kedzie and Pulaski, but you're in a neighborhood. Yeah. And my brother-in-law is from the north side. So when I would go visit him and my sister before they finally moved down to Beverly, when they were newlyweds, we go out someplace, and this is what that vibe is. Like, in a neighborhood, there's houses around you, there's people walking around. It's not like a strip of bars with like a 6-lane road out in front of it. It's really cozy. So I would imagine a lot of this is you trying to not only fit the area that you're in, but kind of feed on that vibe, because you don't get a lot of that on the south side.
Agreed. And I mean, we really are trying to match the community around us, right? So obviously that's why you don't hear like it getting crazy out here. Once in a while we'll have like a acoustic guitarist sitting out here and singing a song and things like that, just to kind of give a really laid back idea. And I think what you said around, kind of what you would see on the north side, whereas a north side kind of look with a very south side vibe, right, where it's everyone knows each other, it's very community oriented, it's very family oriented, and people come out here. And to your earlier question on what was I really looking for, is like, how do we make it comfortable? I mean, if people are comfortable, they're going to want to hang out, they're going to want to stay, and I want people to be comfortable when they're here. Like, I always think of Porter Cullen's as like everyone's house in the neighborhood. They just get to come here and hang out, and they're home, and we tried to emulate that out here as well.
Awesome. All right, so here in the month of July, you've got a lot of specials. You do pairing menus and stuff like that. Yeah. But here at Porter Cullen's, tell me a little bit about what you're doing here in Evergreen Park at PC.
Yeah, so, as you know, every month we do a different type of pairing. We switch it up. This month, this is one of our pairings. These are empanadas. These are cheese, actually, but we do cheese or ground beef. They come with a little bit of sour cream, pico, and 4 different kinds of salsas. They're all house-made salsa. My favorite is a tomatillo, avocado, cilantro, and serrano salsa.
I was going to say, you've got, I mean, like sometimes you see 1, 2 sauces. You got 4 different things out here. Yeah, it's shareable because there's 4 of them. So you can buy one and be like, I'm going to try each one of them with its own sauce.
Exactly.
Like, right? Or you can bring friends.
Exactly.
Of the patio. Yeah.
And so we tried to do it. So, with the pairings, we have our light, our savory, and our hearty. This is the savory option that you have in front of you. And so the light option. So the way that it actually works is, here you can have it as your meal if you want to, but because it's a light pairing option, you can actually share it, like you said, make it an appetizer. And it comes with a cocktail. Well, this one is a coconut pineapple spritzer. And
is that shaved coconut on top of that?
Shaved coconut. There's a pineapple on the inside. Really refreshing. So, we try to emulate our drinks and the food to match kind of the season where we're at. So you see a lot of colors as we're in the summertime right now. Our other pairings are actually a big salad, which is a Seinfeld reference for those of you that get it. And then we also have a crab cakes with Cajun rice. So that's our heartiest pairing as well, and that comes with the white wine. So,
crab cakes.
Yeah,
I mean, you don't see that a lot. I mean, you don't see a lot of crab cakes. And I that's what, like, my mom, she loves the crab cakes, but she can never find them anywhere. So, like, this is one of those places, when you mentioned that you had that this month, I was, whoo. Yeah. Whoo. And we got to bring mom out to dinner.
Absolutely, and we don't skimp on the crab cake, and it is fresh crab. So we try our best to kind of give these options that you don't, like you said, you don't see everywhere, and we want to make sure that we're hitting the right notes for what the community is looking for.
Awesome, and you could tell we're in a community as kids go by on bicycles. If I were to try one of these, like right here on camera, like which one would you say, Chris, that's my favorite? Is it this one right here?
That one right there.
And what is this again?
That's avocado, tomatillo.
Okay.
Cilantro.
We'll try to do this without looking like too much of a pig on camera, but I want to try it and see what it's like. So avocado and
cilantro, tomatillo, and serrano peppers.
Wow. I see why you like that.
Really fresh. All these sauces are made in-house from scratch ingredients. So
I think the real trick when you're making something like that is to, how do I not go bland with those ingredients?
Yeah.
You found a way to put a little spice into that, and it's great.
I appreciate that. All the credit goes to my kitchen staff, Danny, my chef, Kevin, our GM. They work on these things together all the time.
Oh, this is dangerous.
Yeah, it is.
This is the most dangerous trick on the South Side. This is like that thing you get at an all-inclusive resort, and you don't realize you're drinking alcohol, and then all of a sudden you're just in the pool for 3 hours. Like wow. What is this one again?
That's the coconut pineapple spritzer.
Oh my goodness. All right, well, I'm never leaving because that's going to keep me here all summer long. That is absolutely insane. What a drink to try. Porter Cullen's, give me the exact address because I keep throwing the streets out to people. What's the exact address?
It's 3541 West 99th Street in Evergreen Park. We'd be happy to have you. Come check out the patio. If it's a little bit hot, you're welcome inside. And we look forward to seeing you.
PorterCullens.com if they want to see more.
Absolutely.
Whole menu, all those pairings.
Whole menu.
Tell your friends this is where we're going.
This is where we're going. You have the menus on there, our soup menus on there, our monthly soup menu, as well as your ability to book a reservation online, take an takeout order, as well as book our party room. So there you have a lot of options out there on PorterCullens.com.
Thank you very much, Curtin.
Thank you guys. Take care.
Like live, actually.
Look at this shit. I almost put this in my mouth.
Why did you take the
spider?
tequila one?
I felt it tickle my fucking
The spider was up on
There's a
felt it
spider
in the
on it?
fridge.
Yeah, I felt it tickle my fucking lip.
There was
I
a
swear to
spider
God.
in the fridge?
I don't know, but
I don't know if you had a
Bill,
mustache.
hold
you
on a
might
second.
notice
Hold
that
on a second.
spider
As we
earlier.
come back from break there, Bill
It's
almost
on the-
drank a
it's on the
spider.
ground somewhere.
Step on it.
I don't know where it is.
Dark
Oh.
over here.
It's a basement. There's spiders.
But it was in my beer.
Well, I don't know. You brought that. Wait, that's the one you brought.
Yeah, it is.
You brought that spider.
I didn't bring spider beer.
You brought spider beer.
Spider beer.
Hold on a second.
Spider beer.
Mike,
Does whatever
Mike.
spider beer.
I'm sensing things now.
Mike,
Chris.
remember,
I got
as I
bit.
walked in here, I had bought a case of High Noon.
We should rehash this for sure.
I did.
Yeah.
I bought a 12-pack of High Noons.
That's a case.
Okay?
I feel like I was
17 bucks.
sabotaged here.
And I put them all in the fridge, and then he
Was
comes
it
over,
inside of it?
and he brought his own High Noons over.
I was embarrassed when I opened the
and
fridge
he's like,
and there were
because
all these high noons.
you got me tequila ones before, and you don't know how to get the right ones. I said, I got the right ones this time. He goes,
And then you put a spider on
you
mine.
broke my trust. No, that's one of yours. That's your spider
put it
drink.
on there.
No, I didn't put it on there.
By the way, he already drank the 40 brought.
I
So
knew.
we're
I
I
almost ate that spider.
Listen, I'm sorry about that, but I
Man,
think that's your
I
problem.
hope the camera got that spider.
Yeah, I
really do.
You saw it.
I saw it. It was
felt
there. You would have felt it earlier
I go,
if you
what
had a
is that? And I went
mustache.
there
or
and
some facial hair.
and now the spider is loose somewhere because you didn't kill it because you cried and you screamed
was
and
a
you
brown
jumped up.
recluse.
Yeah,
we can't see and it's dark over here. So who knows?
brown recluse. That's
gonna-
what it was. They hide inside of your
Yeah,
refrigerator.
they're inside the cans.
They're inside the High Noons.
Like we should get a case for free for
Every-
that.
Maybe it's like a promotion or something like that. Find
Did
the
you
can
find
the
with
brown
the
spiders?
brown recluse.
You win 50 grand, right?
Did you find the brown recluse?
Banner year for the Southside Pod. We cleared profit this year, everybody.
But there's a spider in your basement somewhere.
I know.
now.
Clearly,
It
there's
was a
spider
daddy
in the basement.
long legs.
Yeah, I mean those get in. It's that time of year, man.
How did they get on my beer?
I don't know.
He was thirsty.
I don't know.
All right.
All right.
They don't live in fridges.
Okay, they don't live in fridges, so I don't know how it happened.
Okay.
Okay, I don't have any answer for you. Are you going to be able to continue?
I don't know.
Do you even trust the drink?
No.
What if that can's filled
should probably
with
We
pour
laid
that-
eggs in there.
What if the-
now
what if
they're
the-
inside of me and they're like eggs inside of me.
What if that can is filled with them and you keep drinking it?
They
I
might
should
be.
probably pour that in a glass just to be safe.
Where did that come from?
I don't know.
Like I just put it from the fridge onto there and I
And then you
opened it.
walked around.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I don't like this.
I'm just
Vibe
waiting to
is
see whether or
off,
not he
man.
drinks it. Does he waste it or not?
I don't know.
He's not gonna
Younger
waste
Bill
it.
drinks it. Younger Bill
older
drinks
Bill
it.
Younger Bill eats the spider.
Younger Bill drinks it. He starts going.
gonna drink
he
it.
swallowed the drink
I don't think
to
it was
kill the
inside of
spider.
it.
Like he's doing. He's doing
Wiggle
a
and
song.
tickle and tickle
He's doing a
inside
whole song. He's like- it's a completely different scene. There he goes. There he is. You're still you. I was worried.
Was it chewy at all or no?
No.
Okay, good.
I was worried for a second. Yeah, I know. I've got the creeps
Yeah,
now.
I'm
I do.
a
I've
It's
got.
still around.
I know. It's a spider. Do spiders freak you out?
When they're in my mouth.
How often does that happen?
Once today.
I think you can pretty much take anything.
Yeah.
You're like, does such and such freak you out when it's in my mouth?
Does dynamite scare you? No. What about if it's in your mouth? Yes.
It's the Southside! It's the Southside! It's the Southside Pod! Thanks for listening! Thanks for tuning in to the Southside Pod!
Y'all come back now, you hear?